Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Chris M. Walker from Superstar SEO and Legiit here, and I'm not going to waste a lot of your time. Today, we're going to get right into what we're going to talk about, but I want to thank you first for joining us for another Superstar SEO webinar. So, like I say, I'm not going to waste a lot of time telling you my life story or anything like that, but because if you're here, you probably do know who I am. But if you don't, I want to make sure that you have a little bit of background. My name is Chris M. Walker. I am the founder of Superstar SEO, a seven-figure SEO agency. The fastest growing digital service marketplace online, which is Legiit at legiit.com. I have earned millions of dollars in freelancing. I've trained hundreds of students in both business, SEO, and other forms of marketing, as well as doing some consulting. I've been featured on Forbes, Ahrefs, SERP, SEO Ranking, and more. And that's basically me. Those are my three brands there: Superstar SEO, Legiit, and Chris M. Walker. Lauren says, "Is anyone talking yet?" Yes, I'm. You should be able to hear me. Everybody else seems to be, so just turn up your volume or something like that. I'm also joined today by Carolina. She is the product marketing manager at Surfer SEO. She's a conversion copywriter and a funnel strategist, and she has a great background in marketing. You can read that there. And she's great at on-page SEO, funnel strategy, copywriting, the whole thing. So we're very, very fortunate to have her on today. Do you want to say hello real quick?
Sure. Hello, everyone. It's a great pleasure to be here. Thank you, Chris, for the invite. And I'm super excited to tell you a little bit about content and on-page optimization with Surfer, share some amazing tips that you can use for your work with content, with copywriters, whatever you do. I think we're going to have some fun today.
Sounds good. All right. Lauren says he has no audio. Seems like everybody else can hear me okay. So if I don't know how to tell you to log out and log in, maybe if Jessica, if you could just type in the chat to log out and tell him to log out and log in. And yeah, so let's keep right on going. Looks like he already dipped out. So today, what we're going to be talking about is the foundation of SEO. Now, for whatever reason, people like to blow past this. I know I certainly did. And just to give a little bit of backstory on why I decided to do this webinar today and talk about what we're going to talk about is, for a long time, I would just kind of do the very basics of on-page SEO, which are things like, not figure out what else already winning, but keyword and H tags and the alt tags and the meta title. Basically, what I would do was I would turn all the lights in Yoast green and call it a day, and then start firing away with links. And that worked for a long time. It did. Like, I had a lot of success with that. But as I kept on doing that, I found that it was taking more and more linking to get less and less. Now, don't get me wrong, linking is still important and you're still going to have to do it. But if you want to get the rankings in really competitive niches today, you're going to have to get your on-site right. And just doing these basics, the keywords and the H1 tags and all those things, it's not enough anymore. Like, you can't just blow past this. And for whatever reason, a lot of people don't want to dig into this, but I don't know. I think it's the most important thing. So what I did after finding that just doing these few little tweaks, the keyword and the keyword and the H1 tag, the alt tags, the meta title, meta description, and all those things weren't getting me the results that I needed. I kind of went back to the drawing board, and I decided that, like I said, the results were meh just from doing those handful of things. I would get my rankings, but it wasn't really blowing me away, and I still had to really like power away with links and just fire away with guest posts and niche edits and PDNs and all those other things that are, like I said, still useful, but it wasn't getting the job done. So I decided to see what the winners were doing. In SEO, that's kind of like, I don't know, that's kind of what I found that you kind of need to do, both in terms of strategy and just in general, is to go and look and see what is already working and emulate or try to beat it. So this is an example term. I don't have a client in this niche and I don't know who these businesses are. I just highlighted them because they're what's winning for the term Milwaukee divorce lawyer, a term I took totally at random. Just, I don't know why. I always use Milwaukee as my test city. Never been there, have no desire to go there. Anyhow, you can see that with the exception of these like directories and things like that, these sites are doing what works. And the way I know that is because they're the first sites that are optimized properly that are ranking on page one. So I figured they must be doing something right because they're winning. So I was going to look into what they were doing and kind of emulate it. So that worked really well. I started getting results. However, it was really, really tedious. Like, you would have to go into the page like look at the source code, just find out how many times the keyword was really there, count the words manually, and just kind of like copy and paste it over into Word to do a review. And it was just a huge pain in the butt. I tried some other tools, and I even had one of my own developed, which like it all worked, but it was still very tedious. None of them really worked the way that I wanted to. What just happened there? Like I said, I tried a bunch of tools. I'm not going to name names because, well, first of all, I don't think it's cool to like pick on other people's tools, including my own. And, if I say something that they don't do and they do it, then technically that's a whole thing. So I tried a bunch of different on-page SEO tools, and they did okay, but they really didn't get the type of results that were needed. So I met up with someone who was the owner of another SEO tool that I had tried years before. And at that time, I didn't really like dig into it because I was still in the, fire away with links. But as I was trying different on-page SEO tools, including my own, I decided to go back and revisit that one. And frankly, I was blown away by the results. I've got that tool was called Surfer SEO. Now, what that does is it's going to give you and we're going to look at it here in a minute, but it is going to give you the opportunity to see what's already winning, compare it to your site, optimize all the different elements, and a whole bunch of other things. And there were a lot of other tools that claim to do that. This is the only one that I've tried that really got the job done for me the way that I wanted it done. And basically what it did is get me results. Now, I don't have a ton of results to show because frankly, we only decided to do this about a week ago. And I haven't been tracking them like I have. I do have some for you though. For example, earlier this week, I optimized one page on this particular site, and I've blacked out what it is because I've had some unfortunate experiences with sharing live sites. And you can see just overnight the rankings increased pretty decent, like nothing to jump up and down about, but that's a huge increase for just changing a few words around. Audio is very messed up on my end. Reopen 3 times and still the same. Will there be a replay? Yes. Sorry about that. I mean, if there was a clear up the audio button, I would definitely push it, but it's doing the best I can. So seems like it's only a handful of people. So, all right, continuing on. The next day, the rankings jumped up again from doing nothing else. So just from going in and tweaking the text like we're going to be showing you here in a few minutes, I got these kinds of results. Now, that's just from one day, or 2 days, I guess. So, and just from changing the text around, like, give me a 1 in the chat box if you think that's powerful, if that's something useful you could do that would save you a ton of time and money and make your clients and your sites happy and all those things. Okay, lots of ones rolling in. Love the interaction, by the way. I know that's like that 1 in the chat box thing is kind of a cliche, but Gerald says, oh yeah. But it's a very odd sensation to be standing here talking to yourself and not seeing any interaction. So I'm glad you guys are in. So, all right. Then I wanted to show some more long-term results. And like I said, we only decided to do this about a week ago, so I didn't have any of my own to show, but Surfer was nice enough to reach out to one of their clients, a gentleman named Jordan Fowler, and these are the kind of results he's gotten for some really competitive terms. I, again, have blocked it out because, not everybody's honest out there, but these are the kind of results he's gotten from this tool too. So, I mean, I feel like I've blown through this at this point, but let me ask you this. Are you ready to check it out? You want to see what Surfer's all about? Give me 2 in the chat box if you want to see it. Audio is not clear. Lots of 2s, a F, yeah. Audio is good, ignore them. Yep, 2s, yes, fine. All right. Well, then, since nobody's interested, I guess we'll just wrap it up. Oh, no, everybody's saying they do want to see it. All right, let's get into it. Let me pause the screen for a moment, and I'll bring it up. You know what? Somebody do me a favor. Drop a keyword and a URL that you don't mind being shared on a public webinar in the same chat message, and we will check it out. All right, got a couple of them come in. All right, let me pause the screen for just a moment and I'll bring it up. All right, can you guys see it on my screen now? Let me just somebody let me know. All right. Let me see if I can find one where somebody put the keyword and the URL in the same thing, because there's so many coming in that I can't do it. Let's see. All right, here. Ooh. God, they're scrolling off the screen faster than I can look at it. All right, so we're gonna do Private Investigator Las Vegas. And forgive my keyboard, I have a very old-fashioned one with makes the really loud clicking, so that bothers some people. And you'll notice that we're turning on this NLP feature. That's important. We'll talk about that in just a bit. You can also see how heavily I've been using it so far this month, because I'm using up my credits faster than I can keep up. So we're going to create a query. Now this is going to take a moment or two, but what this is going to do is it's going to go out and pull out, I forget how many factors, but a ton of different factors that are going to tell us what we need to do on our site. I believe this was Anthony's site, so I'll drop the link to the report in the chat when it's done as well. So it's going to take just a minute or two to go out and pull out in that data, and then we're going to dig into it. Let me see if I can bring up the site. Hopefully that'll let me copy. Almost there. I feel like I should keep talking, but like there's not much to say until it gets done processing, which it's getting very close. But you know, it's going out and pulling out hundreds of factors directly from Google that are going to tell you what's already winning and then what we can do to emulate that. So yeah. You can see I did a bunch of these for people in the Superstar SEO Facebook group yesterday, and I think that everyone was really pleased with that too. So if you got one of those, congratulations. Later in this webinar, we're going to be giving away a couple of free accounts to Surfer as well, so stick around for that. All right, it's done, and I can stop rambling. Well, almost. All right, so basically this is the graph. It's going to show the different, and Carolina can probably help me with this portion because frankly, I don't use this part as much as some of the other tools, but if you just select the different things, it will compare it to it. But the feature that I like to use most is to take the URL, and again, I hope you don't mind me showing your site there, and putting it in here, and this is going to actually compare to what's already winning.
Yeah, so when it comes to this graph that you guys actually can see right now, this is like a graph that shows you correlation between a given factor that you can choose from the sidebar on the left and a position in search results. So as you can see right now under the graph, there's the averages turned to 10. So you can see some trends when it comes to top 10 pages, pages between position 12 and 21, etc., etc. But if you turn those averages off, you can see how a single page is performing in terms of a factor that you have turned on. So we have like 500 factors on the left that you can analyze, like, you know, word count or queries or the title or the paragraphs, what's the content inside there, how many, like, what's the density of your keyword or a query phrase that you use. I always recommend to use at one or two factors turned on at the same time, because otherwise it gets a little bit messy. But this is a place where you optimize some hardcore keywords that are very, very competitive. And the tool that Chris is going to show you is much more friendly, and it shows you quick wins that you can take and use right away and optimize your pages.
And that tool is the audit. Now, basically, this is pulled in your information, and it's going to compare it to the other 10 results. And just for the record, if you want, like, for example, if you want to exclude this thumbtack result, you can just click that, because, you know, that's not ranking because it's optimized. It's ranking because it's, you know, a big directory authority site, whatever you want to call it. So let's go ahead and click audit. So it's not too bad, actually. Some of the ones I saw yesterday were scary. It's going to show you a few different things. The common backlinks, I don't really look at that too much, but this one is really, really important. And we'll talk about this NLP portion here in a few moments, but this is going to show you different words that you can add or remove to be in line with what else is already winning. So for example, Private Investigator Las Vegas it's suggested 3 to 9 times, and apparently he has it 0 times. So he would want to add that 3 to 9 times to the content. And then what you can do is scroll down and see what you've got, quote unquote, right. Then there's this one, for example, this set, and hopefully you guys can see that okay. Do I need to zoom in on any, or is that good? Let me zoom in just a little bit. All right. So this, for example, it says that you have 8 words in bold or strong tags, and it says to add 31 to 101 of those. That's one factor. This is probably a key one. The key one for this particular report is you have 0 exact keywords in the body of your text, and the average is 2 to 8. So you probably want to go in and add a couple. And you have 0 in your H1. So what I would probably do is add 1 in an H1 tag and then 1 in the body. And then partial keywords. So the keyword here was what? Private Investigator Las Vegas. That means Private Investigator in Las Vegas. So you need to add some occurrences of each of those without being the exact keyword. So sprinkle those throughout the text. Replace partial keywords with page 1. And you can see these are just some easy, like a quick punch list of things that you can go through to add to that. And that's what I use most of the time. Not the only thing, but that's kind of that. Do you want to add anything to that? Did I leave anything out?
So I think it's always worth to look into when you go, for example, to the exact keywords, you also have a possibility to show details, right? So you can see exactly if there is some outlier, for example, who makes this, this range a little bit higher. And as we can see, the page that ranks on position number 2 is actually having 7 keywords in their body. So it's up to you if you choose to add maybe around 5 or 2. You can experiment in this field because, as you see, there are many pages that are actually doing good and they have 0 keywords in body. So, data is data, but at the end of the day, it's you as a SEO. It's your job to figure out what it means for your page, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like any tool should not be used as, you still have to apply some critical thinking to it. This is a problem I've had. Not a problem, but a thing I've seen people do. They'll run a report on not this particular tool, but they'll run something and say, well, this is what it told me to do, but they didn't apply any logic to it. So use the data that it gives you, and also use your skill, because I agree. This one has 0, 0, 0, 0. This one has 2. So even though that makes the average 2 to 8, it's really probably, if we threw this out, that would change that quite a bit. So
that's exactly what I mean.
Yeah. Sure, and then same kind of thing here.
Oh yeah.
So that's kind of how that works. Now, you can probably do a better job explaining the NLP portion of it than I can. Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Sure, of course. So NLP is our kind of brand new feature that we added just a few weeks ago. And if you enrich your report with NLP entities, Surfer basically takes data from Google API and gives you more words that are relevant to your main subject. So, for example, the Las Vegas is a relevant keyword that is also relevant in Google's eyes. So this is a pinch of magic from machine learning, and this is something you should particularly look into when you optimize with true density. So first of all, it's worth to look into the NLP phrases and words, and only then look on the other ones. And the other ones are just popular and common words among top performing pages that are included in your audit.
Yeah, and that's kind of helping it understand the way a person would talk. It stands, what is it, neuro language? I forget. I'm terrible with acronyms.
Processing, yeah.
Thank you. Processing. And then I was close. Basically, it's kind of the way people would talk translated into text. And this is information that's coming directly from Google, right? It's not like something you guys invented or anything like that, right? You're pulling
exactly.
Right. So it's basically Google telling you what it wants, and Surfer displaying it in a way that you can understand, basically. So, and another cool little feature I like here is this can be used as kind of a tool to help you get a new client. So, for example, you get somebody that's interested but they're not sure. If you want to just copy the shareable link, and I'll drop this in the chat for I think it was for Anthony. If you want to keep that link. Rakesh says it looks confusing. Will you guys have tutorials on how to use this?
So we have some blog posts and articles, but we have a lot of content on our way. If you go to surferseo.com, you will probably see the whole, and there is a fresh new article that is focused exclusively on audits, how to read it, how to use the data. So you'll probably be fine just by following the advice there.
Okay. Nick asks, can you share an example of a site without a geo reference in the URL? Sure. If somebody wants to send one over, we'll do another example. Scott says, sorry, came late to the webinar. Hope it's still worth being here. I hope it is too, and I think it will be. we still have a couple more features to do. If somebody wants to drop a, all right, there it is. So let's do another one. It is compression socks. I don't know what that is, but it sounds neat. We'll do one more and then we'll move. Oops, that's not what I wanted. I'll just have to type it. And we'll create a query. So, and let me go ahead and grab that URL while it's doing that. We'll do one more of these just so you can kind of see it without the geo modifier, and then we'll move on to the content editor, which is an awesome tool as well. So if anybody has any questions, we can do that while it's, let me see what we got. As per my confusions, a lot of unnecessary. Can you explain, we just did that. Can you explain how to use NLP, please? It's just phrases that you can work into it that are more powerful and more English. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's pretty much how it works. Okay. But if we talk about NLP, if you go, there is a switcher in NLP, right? There's also a setting, and you can analyze with NLP sentiment of the pages. So you can see, for example, if top pages in SERP has positive or negative sentiment. So positive sentiment means it's got more words like good, like hero, like best, etc., etc. And you can also check if maybe top performing pages are negative mostly. So they are probably, you know, talks about some disadvantages of some solution or some idea. And this is also like a cool feature to look into. It's actually a part of the graph that we looked into at the first view. And I think you can have some nice fun with it. We lately discovered with my colleague that like 80 to 90% of pages that are showing up in SERPs are actually positive. So it's a good practice to just, if you don't know what's the sentiment, you can go with the positive one. Yeah, when you turn off the averages, you will see, because we only analyze the top 10 pages, and we analyze it with the IBM Watson API. Yeah, just the switcher, and you will see the sentiment for this keyword. Yeah, that's interesting. If you turn off the words, so we can have the clearer, so when you look on the sidebar, turn off the words factor, and now you see the actual sentiment for this very key phrase. So the sentiment over 0.25 is considered as a positive one, and the one below minus 0.25 is a negative one. So as you can see, this is kind of mixed SERP, which is kind of interesting. And you can, you know, make some decision based on that, what kind of phrases you want to use, or what is like your favorite verdict, final verdict on a given subject.
That's why I have you on today, because I could not have explained it that well. So thank you for that. Let's see. Large format printing. That's lots of. Does this analyze a page or an entire site at one time? It's a page at a time.
Yep.
Link error. Why is NLP analysis suggesting us lots of unnecessary keywords in Surfer? What my question to you would be, what makes you think that they're unnecessary? But again, you also need to, like we said, apply some of your own skill to that as well.
Yeah. So for example, you may spot that there are some words like, you know, stop words, for example, or maybe some phrases that are just common for all websites, like, I don't know, privacy policy and this kind of words. And of course, this is like hard to avoid this kind of phrases. We're working on that, so it's like the most relevant words. You can also, like, when you use content editor, you can blacklist some phrases, and it is still like work in progress, but we've seen people get amazing results, so we know that we're going in the right direction. But any suggestions are, of course, welcome. because all the features that we actually like built inside Surfer are based on suggestions from our users.
Great. Preben asks, is NLP only for English right now?
No, like NLP serves around like 10 languages. I think if you go to our website, you can check which ones are those. Those are like mostly languages that are supported by Google API. So like the most common languages should be supported there, left to right languages.
Okay.
Like German, Spanish, for example, for sure.
Susan asks, I'm a newbie blogger. Will this help me? Absolutely. The bloggers are kind of the ideal person for it, to be honest, because your whole strategy relies on creating well-optimized content. And that's exactly what this does for you, especially with the content editor, which we're going to talk about here in just a moment.
You know what's crazy? Like lately, I've been talking to my colleague, and right now Surfer is kind of niche tool. We have around 2,000 users, and this is a huge advantage for everyone who will jump into this bandwagon right now, because there are so few people who use this data, and you can be one of the first in your niche to do that. So if you're like, you know, a blogger, a newbie blogger, you can analyze and optimize your on-page with Surfer and dominate on page for your keywords, which is like a pretty nice perspective, right?
Right. Woody asks, what he says is, lately Google has gotten really good at understanding websites in a way that it never has before. Due to big data and machine learning, search engines are beginning to understand the very nature of content without the help of keywords. Absolutely, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Navid says, how good is it for the web pages that are already ranking in the top 6 results? I think that's kind of the sweet spot, to be honest, because the way that the tiebreaker is almost going to be who has the best optimized on page. So. Oh
yeah. You already proved that your page can rank really well, right? So probably if you can tweak some on page from true density, add some phrases relevant to your subject, you can move to spot 4 or 3 or maybe even 1, depending on who is your organic competitor, of course.
Awesome. So there's lots of questions still coming in, but we still have another feature that we want to cover. So we'll get to the questions in just a minute. And the next feature that I want to talk about is the content editor. Now, what this does, it looks kind of similar, but what it's going to do, and we'll do that same example as before. And again, I apologize for my 1980s keyboard. And I'm just picking this one because it's still up in another tab. But it's going to create a query. And what we're going to be able to do is edit some content directly, like basically kind of edit it live and make the changes as we go. Is that how you would explain what this feature does?
So yeah, so content editor is perfect for anyone who creates new content and who wants this content to, you know, rank well in Google. When we use SERP Analyzer with Audit feature, it's perfect for optimizing existing pages, but content editor is for anyone who's creating something new.
Right. But you can also pull in like copy and paste in existing content, right? And edit it.
Oh yeah, I do that. I do that a lot. Like, you know, when I optimize my pages, and I do this still sometimes, I do this exactly this way. So I just copy paste my content to the content editor, the draft that you will see in a moment, and just optimize it there. It's super, super useful, just like a bingo game for words.
Right. So we want to get rid of that one. We'll get rid of that one and that one. And then this is like somebody was asking about some of the less useful terms. If it had pulled in like something like experience here, you may not necessarily want that. You may want that, but that's the first one I looked at. So you could get rid of that if you wanted to, right?
Oh yeah, exactly. So it's always good to spend like 5-10 minutes on checking the suggestions that Surfer pulls out, because then you get easier job, right? If you send it to a copywriter or if you create the content yourself, it's much, much easier to work like this.
Then we'll go ahead and finalize customization. And then you would just take your content, and this is on the fly, so this may not be perfect, but.
Yeah, I'm wondering what you're gonna have. That's a lot of content. It looks pretty promising.
Yeah. And then you would just go through and do, like, for example, it says private investigator Las Vegas should be there 5 times. You would just if you thought that was right, you would just go through and add that another 4 times, right?
Oh yeah, exactly. So right now, if you pull your content and copy paste it right here, your goal is to turn all those phrases green, right? So Surfer tells you you should use the word private 27 times and you use it just 14. So this is a great place for improvement.
Right. And again, this would be one of those things where you don't want to go too nuts. You'd probably want to get it, what, 75, 80% right?
Oh yeah. This is something like this. This is also a cool thing to do. If you click on a single word, you get suggestions from other pages how they use it. So is there anything for the examples here? Try another word. Maybe there will be something. For niche keywords, is not always possible.
So like that.
Oh yeah, exactly. So you can see like other pages use this keyword, and this is a great suggestion if you just try to figure out where to place this.
Yeah, that's actually very good, because like I was trying to do one the other day and it was driving me nuts figuring it out. So I didn't even realize that was there. There's like ways to get the keywords in there. I didn't even realize that was there. So that's awesome. And this is a great way to use it, but it's more suited for brand new content, right?
Yeah, definitely. So if you create something new, you can customize the draft, let's say, and you can easily send it to a copywriter or just start writing yourself. Make sure to meet the word count, meet the number of structural elements, meet the number of phrases and words that we suggest you, and just push it to the, to the audience and see what happens.
Awesome. Awesome. So those are kind of the main features. Is there anything else you think I should show before we get back into the presentation, or does anybody else want to see anything else?
So could you try to type Vegas 4 more times so you can see how it actually turns green real time? If you just type it in some random place, you will see that this number is growing. It's 14 right now, and if we added it 3 more times, you will see that now it's orange, so it's almost good. You can do this just randomly. Just don't do that when you write content for your website. Right. Yeah, and it turned green, right? So it's a big pain for many SEOs that they send some kind of a draft to a copywriter, and then they have to just look for phrases that they want this content to include, and it's just Command F and look for a word Vegas and find it and just see how many times it appears. And with content editor, this work is done, right? You get real-time feedback on the level of the optimization, and you don't have to just do any manual work. It's all done for you. So it's pretty comfortable for SEOs and for copywriters too.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, I think this is really what sets it apart. And I'm not going to, for those of you that are going to ask me, how does this compare to this tool? I prefer not to get into those sort of things. But this is one of the things that I think really sets it apart. I don't think anybody else is offering this, and I think it's really groundbreaking, to be honest. So I think that's probably good for the demonstration. Let's pause the screen. We'll jump back into the presentation and we'll do our first giveaway. So somebody's going to get a free account. So give me a 3 in the chat box if you thought that was a great demonstration, by the way, while I'm doing that. Wow, look at the 3s rolling in. All right. Let's see. And can we see, ready to see it in action? Is that what everybody's seeing now? All right. So let's do our first giveaway. How should we do this? Let's see. All right, we have 147 people on. So somebody give me a number between, no, that won't work. Just somebody's saying just pick me. I'm not really, I should have probably thought about this beforehand, but I don't know, how do you want to pick who wins? What do you think?
Oh, gee, this is a hard task. Don't throw it at me.
All right. I'll tell you what. I'm going to pick a number between 1 and 130 on random.org and see what we get. definitely, you can tell we're live because I was not prepared for this. All right, closest without going over so we don't spend a lot of time on this. And it looks like 119, so scrolling too fast. Looks like I saw 117 in somewhere. Johnny Boyd is our winner. So Johnny, if you will type your email address, I will get that over to them and they'll hook you up with 3 months of Pro, which we're going to cover the packages here in just a moment. So yeah, whenever that jumps in there, and if Jessica, if you can see his email, can you just save that? Dexter, come on, man. All right, it's all right. So yeah, Jessica, if you're listening, can you just copy that? It should be johnny.boyd@gmail.com. All right. They'll take care of you after we get done. So next up, basically, I want to talk about the discount that I'm going to give to everybody on here today. Now, normally the packages look like this. It's $59 a month or $99 for Pro, and I almost think you kind of have to have the Pro, to be honest, but or $199 for business, and then you get the various different amounts of queries and content editor and things like that. But today, with the webinar special that they were generous enough to offer to everyone that shows up, we're going to get a 10% discount on each package and 10% more queries and content editor queries, backlink queries, and so on. So those are kind of the prices. If you want to check that out and grab that today at that discount, you can go to superstarseo.com/getsurfer. And it's kind of up to you, I guess, what you need, but I don't know, the Pro is probably the most popular package, right?
Yeah, exactly. And this is like kind of one-time offer. We don't do any discount or discount coupons very often. So it's very, very exclusive for you guys. So please feel free and enjoy the discount. It will be open for, I don't know, next 36 hours or so. Yeah, am I right?
Yeah, something like that. I don't know the exact number, but if you go to that URL, it'll have the countdown timer on it. So it's superstarseo.com/getsurfer, and I will drop that in the chat for you. And I probably should have had that ready too, but And then in a minute, I have some frequently asked questions, and then we'll take as many questions as you ladies and gentlemen have. So that's superstarseo.com/getsurfer. Oh boy, lots of text. I can barely keep up. So some frequently asked questions that they have been nice enough to pre-supply for me are and I'll let you take these. How does it get the suggestions that it makes? How does it pull in the data to get the suggestions that it offers?
All right, so we have seen two features, that is Content Editor and that is SERP Analyzer. And as you probably seen, it takes a while to get the data because we do this real-time analysis of what's already happening in SERPs. And we do this reverse engineering of search results of top performing pages. So we believe that there's no point of reinventing the wheel if there are people out there, there are your competitors actually, who did the work for you. You can just use this knowledge for your advantage. So this is real-time data directly from your competitors. We put, for example, common and popular phrases to true density, so you know which words they use, and you can use it on your page too, because apparently they are relevant. We also use Google API for the NLP entities, as you've probably seen, which is important because those are data directly from Google. And as you might have spotted in the navigation, we also have this keyword research tool, as we want to be this, full stack on-page optimization tool. So this keyword research tool, we have a database for it that is the same as for Google AdWords, for example. And so it's kind of like, also a good source of ideas for secondary keywords or for primary keywords. Yeah. So as Chris showed you himself, like it's very hard to just do the manual work yourself, to just analyze each single competitor and draw some conclusions about the content length, about the keyword density, we believe that there is no just like good practices out there. You just need to see what's already working and use it for your pages to rank really, really well.
Great, great.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm not ignoring your questions. I'm just going to offer, I'm going to scroll back up once we get done with the frequently asked questions, and we'll just kind of go through them. So I see a couple people getting testy about how I haven't answered them yet. So are the data acquired in real time? So for example, if you pull something in and then you make a change and then you check it again, will it reflect those changes right away?
Okay, that's a very good question. And this is something that we added to the product like 2 weeks ago, I believe. So when you use the audit feature, as I already mentioned you, when you put the query and location, you get real-time results and you see what's happening in SERPs now. Then you turn on audit feature, and based on its suggestions, you can just add some phrases or add some content and save it, publish it in your WordPress or whatever CMS are you using. And when you do that, you can refresh the audit and you will see the data immediately changing for you. So you can just, control your optimization levels very, very easily.
Great. So the next frequently asked question is, how many factors are you analyzing?
So as you know, there are some other on-page SEO tools, and they are focusing on big numbers, like, to have the biggest number of ranking factors. But the truth is, right now we have like 500 or 600 factors that we analyze, and we want to focus on the ones that actually matters. And that's why we also created this audit feature, which is like, a set of pre-selected factors that are really, really important, and we know from our experience that are relevant. So it's 500 factors, and you should focus on true density and on content length for most successful optimization, and that's most important. And what's just most important, like page speed too, for example, or keyword density for your phrases.
Great, great. How can I practically optimize an existing article? Do I need to do all of the suggestions? We kind of answered that already, but do you think you'd be 75%, 80%? How close to perfect do you think it should get? Because there's some people that I know will spend hours trying to get like every one little thing right.
It's still a tool, right? And you want your content to sound natural because you write for people. And for most competitive keywords, you will have really hard time to just, rank some, let's say, robotic kind of content, right? So what we always recommend to our users to utilize the tool is to just use the audit feature. So put your phrase, put your location, find your URL or type it yourself, create the audit, and focus on the content length first, and then look into the true density. But sometimes, of course, you get like, 500 suggestions to improve, and it's kind of overwhelming. So what you should do in such situation is to look into phrases first and try to include every phrase that is mentioned in true density at least once. If you do that and you have more time, you can just follow those suggestions for the number of usage of those phrases, but try to mention it at least once. Save your page and wait a few days, see what happens. There is a huge chance that you will see like some nice bump in your rankings immediately or after a few days. And if you're not satisfied, you can always go back and do some more optimization. And this is like the biggest quick win that you can find in Surfer, actually.
Awesome, great answer. Thank you for that. And that was kind of all the frequently asked questions. So we're going to go ahead and open it up to questions. And I'm going to go and scroll back to see what ones we've missed, because there were a lot.
Great, let's do that.
All right, just give me a second here. How's everybody enjoying this so far? Let me know if it's been worth your time, if you've enjoyed it. Even if you don't want to jump on today, I hope you at least got something from it. Come on, going through all the numbers now. Lots of engagement today. Where was Chris born? Let's see. Asim says, does it matter where in the page we insert the NLP phrases, headlines, alt tags, file names, etc.?
So Surfer does not suggest you where exactly you should place your keyword. This is something we were talking about with our users, if we should include such feature. Right now, it's not available, so it's kind of up to you. If you think that this is something relevant, of course, you should put it in a heading or something, or you should place it in the first, second, third paragraph, somewhere around the above default section. So look at this, like the most important NLP phrases, and try to place them where it's actually visible. But you can easily add those phrases in alternative text in images, for example, too, right? So it's at least mentioned at least once.
All right. Let's see. Still a bunch of numbers. Someone says that he always said that Surfer is a much improved version of another software at a much cheaper price because $250 a month is crazy for a monthly. I completely agree on both of those points.
Oh, yeah.
Now let's see. And wow. Somebody says he already has this and it's awesome. That's good to know.
Thank you. It's always nice to hear nice words about your tool.
ASIM says, are Germany and Italy on your locations list? Can I use the NLP feature for the German and Italian languages?
Okay, so I'm sure it's available for German, but please don't follow my words. Just go to surferseo.com and look for the information in docs so I don't mislead you. I believe there's a chance there's Italian language too in NLP, but generally speaking, the audit feature and the content editor works great for any language, left to right language, because it's still reverse engineering of pages that are already ranking. So if you have any, Italian words, phrases that you want to target, audit and content editor will work like a charm.
Great. Deanna asks, we're an agency. How many accounts can we add to our account?
All right, so Surfer gives you, when you purchased our subscription, you can have as many users logged at the same time as you want. So you don't have to just, save some seats for your team members. You can invite your SEOs, your marketers, your copywriters, and use the tool at the same time. Just beware of using content editor and editing the content at the same time with a few people, and you will be fine.
Okay. Marcus says, can I apply this to my current account?
And the discount. Okay, so yeah. I believe you are our current user. If that's so, please contact us on our support on live chat, and we will do our best to add this discount to your account too.
Awesome, that's very nice of you. Christopher asks, isn't the backlinks only Polish countries?
So no. We are working on our backlink database quite a lot lately, so there will be an update soon, but it will work for other countries too when it comes to backlinks, so you can analyze it too. But just remember that backlink checker is not our primary tool. Surfer is mostly on-page optimization tool. We have some nice, the common backlinks feature in Audit is kind of nice. And it's very, very useful if you start doing some, link building efforts, and it will work well for other countries than Poland too.
Awesome. Rakesh and Francis asked me to send the URL. It is superstarseo.com/getsurfer, and I just dropped it in the chat again. Jean asks, would you offer a DFY content creation based on your tool?
So I know that there are already services out there that is SEO Content Hero, one of them, and SEO Butler. They are doing great job and they offer optimization with Surfer. I believe you just, they add some few cents to every word to their prices, and you get perfectly optimized content with Surfer. So I recommend you to check it out. They're pretty great guys. They do a lot of great work out there. So go and check out SEO Content Hero and SEO Butler.
Okay, Furkan, I hope I pronounced that right, says we share that video I just attended. Yes, as long as GoToWebinar cooperates, I will share the video. Let's see, Jason says, once we get the discount and take the basic plan, for example, can we upgrade later, keeping the discount?
I believe it's true, but if you want to double check, just write us on the live chat on surferseo.com, and we will make double sure that it's true.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's okay. Scott says, is there a place to see more about the product since I missed the first part of the webinar? Well, you can most likely watch the replay, but if not, you can just go to superstarseo.com/getsurfer and you'll be able to see everything there. So, but make sure you purchase through that URL so you can get the discount. Already answered that. Preben says, does the content editor need Google's NLP API to work? For those of us that works in another language than API supports.
Of course. So as you know, Google NLP, as I mentioned already, Google NLP is available just for like 10 locations, 10 countries, but it will work just very, very well for other countries with left to right languages. So if you are, I don't know, Hungarian, or if you're placed in Slovakia, or you target some phrases there, you can use Content Editor and the SERP Analyzer, because what we do the reverse engineering of those pages, and we check what are common and popular phrases on top ranking pages, and those are the suggestions that we give you and that we think are relevant to Google, because they rank it ranks those pages very, very high, right?
All right. James, he has a feature that he wants to request. I imagine you would just send that to support, right?
Oh yeah.
Somebody says he got called away. Will there be a replay? Most likely. Do I get the discount for showing up here if I'm already subscribed? She said to just contact support and they'll see what they can do for you.
Yep.
Woody says you can expect a test and hopefully a purchase from me. Thank you, Woody. Scott says, can my partner also use this? I think we just covered that, but basically anybody can log into it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Roberto asks, can you compare reports over time? So I guess what it means is if you make a change and then can you kind of go back and see the progression?
Oh, that's actually funny that you mentioned that, because I don't want to spoil too much, but we do work on some kind of a big thing that will be connected to this thing that you mentioned, but I cannot spill more milk on this, so stay tuned.
All right. Len asks, for NLP 50 queries a day, what does that mean? How is that calculated? So go ahead. I'm sorry.
So when you are a pro user, you get NLP analysis. Oh, sorry, I see that there is like, this is like 50 credits per month. So sorry if that's misleading, because it's kind of like expensive to run an analysis for us. So we have to limit it. So you use it just for the most important keywords. And that means that every month you will get reset your limits and you will get 50 new credits. Every time you run an analysis with NLP, we will take one of your credits. You can also analyze sentiment and sentiment for entities in true density. That will cost you 3 credits if you decide to do an analysis like this.
Awesome. Are there any trials? I think normally they have a 7-day trial, but if you want the discount, you need to sign up straight away.
You can try this, the trial and just sign up tomorrow, of course, because we close the discount tomorrow at midnight.
Right. Very good. Yes, very helpful. It's great. Great tool. Sounds fine, but not LTD. This is great. Great content. Any specific tips to use Surfer for service in location? I mean, I guess that works pretty much the same, right? Like as any other keyword. So he's asking like plumber in New York. It would work just the same, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Somebody says he likes the tool. He thinks some other tool was good, but the UI was an Excel sheet, crazy for $250 a month. I agree.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Rikesh says, is a query one site? I think it's one keyword, right?
Yeah, you analyze one keyword, and so every analysis that you start at Surfer starts from a keyword. If you use Content Editor, you put a keyword and location. If you use SERP Analyzer, you put keyword and location, and it takes like 1 credit from your queries, whatever tool you use, right?
Right. Lifetime deals? No, these are the offers that we have today. And just for the record, that's not like a money grabbing thing, but these queries, you have to use APIs and things that cost money on a monthly basis. So that's why there's no lifetime deals. They didn't tell me that, but I have some experience in these things as well. So. Lauren says, we'll be able to change packages up or down without losing our discount.
I believe yes, but please make double check with our support on our website so we make sure everything goes how you expect it to work.
All right. Roberto wants to know if NLP works in Spanish.
Again, I think yes, but please do double check because we base our NLP analysis on Google API. So we get the data from NLP data based on what's available from Google.
All right. Somebody asks about another country, so that's kind of the same question.
Yep.
And this is a good one. Have you had much success with e-commerce sites with this tool?
So yeah, it's still like content, right? So every page needs on page. If you go through some, some product pages, they have a lot of SEO content there. So I would love to see some nice case study from you if you create something nice, but we've seen some nice success from people who optimize with true density, and I can't recall right now a good example, but if you contact us, I believe we can just figure something out, and it will work just as well as for any other kind of pages that rely on off-page and on-page. So it's like every page.
All right. Deanna says, my question wasn't about our team members, but more about how many clients we can include within our account if we buy a pro account. I'm not really sure what you mean by that.
So, of course, you can log in as many people as you want. Both Audit and Content Editor has got this share with anyone link, so you can just copy paste it and send it to anyone. It can be your external client, for example, and they will be able to access the Audit or Content Editor without logging into the app.
All right. Gerald says, I'm new to the SEO world. Once I subscribe, does Surfer SEO provide any training on how to use the system? You guys have some training, right?
Yes, of course. So we have some videos, some blog posts, but if you request a walkthrough from our team, we'll be more than happy to help you and to walk you through the most important features, just like Chris did actually. So I think it's also a good source of knowledge if you're just starting with SEO and on-page.
All right. Is Legiit, is that somebody from your team?
No.
He says you'll definitely be able to upgrade, keeping the discount. Surfer team. I may be pronouncing that wrong. John Susky.
Ah, okay, that's Lucian. That's my colleague.
All right, I had a feeling.
The CTO, so hi to Lucian.
I apologize.
Sure.
Let's see. Alex says, how will you notify all about the replay? Don't worry, Alex, you will have no trouble knowing when I have something I want you to know about. Anthony says, outstanding demo and tool. I'm sold. Awesome. Glad to have you on board, Anthony. Rakesh says, thanks. Thank you, Rakesh. Alex asks, how will this keep up with Google algorithms? Well, I guess I'll answer part of that and then you can take it there, but it's a lot of this is pulled directly from Google, so of course it's going to keep up with it, right?
Oh yeah, exactly. So we try to release stuff really fast. So for example, the BERT update, it was like October 2019. Now we have NLP features. So if there is any new update in the algorithm, we will do our best to just, keep up. And at the same time, we like this idea of reverse engineering because we don't follow exactly algorithms with everything we do, but we check correlations between the position in SERP and some ranking factors. So it's kind of a universal tool, I believe.
Great. Any more case studies you can share? I only had those 3 ready. Like I said, I didn't have a lot of preparation time, or I would have had several more for you, but maybe over time I'll do some more as well. Jason says, I'm already a member, but when you use the content creator, you can share the link with your writers and they can see the recommendations once set up. Figured I would mention this if you want to show it.
Oh yeah.
Cool. Thank you. Adrian says, and this is a good one, you should also mention the free extension for Chrome from Surfer SEO. It's an amazing tool and it's free.
Oh yeah, I can jump into this topic because we offer something that is called Keyword Surfer, and this is a free Chrome extension. It's got already like 40K installs, I believe, and you can just download it and you will get search volumes of your keywords that you research directly in Google. It's pretty cool, and we are planning some big updates very, very soon when it comes to our database, but also the UX of Keyword Surfer. We got some great feedback from people already there, and there are like 20 languages that Keyword Surfer works with. So go ahead, check it out. It's totally free and it will be free forever. So yeah, that's it.
Awesome, awesome. Let's see.
I can also mention one like very cool thing about the content editor, because I see you guys are interested in this feature. So content editor is also integrated with Google Docs. If you use Chrome, you can install the extension and see those suggestions inside Google Docs. So you don't have to just tweak your processes. You can just still work in your favorite tool and get the suggestions, get the feedback, real-time feedback on your optimization level inside Google Docs. We will also have some new features when it comes to this extension, and we want to spread it to other platforms. And there will be a big update probably in a few weeks from now. So stay tuned for this one too.
Awesome. What is I am not okay, I can't really follow that question. Let me try it. What is I'm not including sentimental analysis as part of my audit? How do I filter and use of NLP from Rakesh? If you're still on, can you just clarify that question? That's a bit tough to follow. A couple of people asked, do the credits roll over each month?
So no, we reset the limits every month or day. It's in terms of SERP Analyzer, so you better do the best use when you have it.
Yeah, I gave out some audits yesterday to kind of, well, frankly, to get more people to show up today, and I had to stop when I did because I was running out of credits. So. Seeing in the prices, the bigger price says correlation, which is actually what the expensive tool does. Okay.
Is that a question?
I'm not sure. Let's see. A big thanks to, this is from Tim, a big thanks to Carolina for her excellent presentation of Surfer SEO.
Thank you.
Nick says, I think he meant the number of projects you can store and maintain. I have the same question.
Okay, so right now we store your content editors and or your analyzers in SERP Analyzer forever. But it's not going to be like this forever because we have more and more users. We have a lot of data in our database, so it's not going to be like this forever. When you will just, for example, decide to just leave our product and just cancel your subscription, we won't keep the history of your analysis when it comes to SERP Analyzer, and your editors in Content Editor will not be, you won't be able to add any changes inside those drafts.
All right. Doron says, awesome, I'm sold, can't wait to try. Awesome, welcome aboard, Doron. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. Thanks,
yeah, welcome aboard.
Thanks for the demo, Chris and everyone. Thank you. Asim says, can we add NLP credits if I use mine before the end of the month?
So right now we don't have like pay-as-you-go function or option. So no, unfortunately, you get the NLP credits, like 50 credits per month with Pro Plan and more with the business one. So it's not an option right now, but we're open to suggestions. And if we see more people like requesting it, we can talk.
All right. Jimmy says, great webinar, thanks. Already bought. We'll upgrade when good results begin to come. Awesome.
Thank you. Share with us your results if you have some. We're always open to just, push it forward, right? So for example, in terms of case study or anything, let us know and maybe we'll figure something out.
All right, let's see. Darren, hey, what's up, Darren? Good to see you here, buddy. I'm late and missed the beginning of this demo. Will there be a recording we can watch so that I can see all the functionalities of this tool? Yes, provided that GoToWebinar cooperates, which it almost always does. That said, the discounts only last through tomorrow, so that's not marketer scarcity bullshit, pardon my language. It's just the facts. So Len says, do you need a proxy to run the extension? No, you do not. I use it myself. Tomas says, no questions, just love. Well, thank you. Always good to get
Thank
some
you.
love. Beverly says, super cool product and presentation, and I only understand about half of SEO related jargon. So thanks. Well, thank you, Beverly. That's good to know.
Thank you.
What's the Chrome extension called? It's just Surfer SEO, right?
So when it comes to content editor, you can
No,
just
they're asking about the Chrome extension.
All right, so it's gonna be keyword surfer.
Okay.
Look for it. You should find it easily in Google. Just type it.
Yeah, just Google like Surfer browser extension or something like that, and you'll find it. I think that's how I found it. So.
Oh yeah.
And somebody dropped the link in there. Let's see. Thought this was going to start at 3 p.m. Central. No, it's 3 p.m. Eastern. Will there be a repeat? Most likely, yes. Can we upgrade or downgrade with these prices? Somebody before from the team said yes. So.
Yeah, if Lucian says it's true, then it's true.
David says, you may have mentioned this, but I assume NLP means natural language processing, not linguistic programming. Yes, that's right. That's right. That would be nice if you could use that kind of NLP in text.
Maybe something in the future, you know?
Christopher says, in the price list, it states correlation data is the difference between pro and top level. What is correlation versus other plans? Sorry if I missed that difference. Still there?
Sorry, could you repeat the question? Yeah,
sure.
I got lost.
No, that's okay. He says in the price list, it states that correlation data is the difference between the pro and business plans. What is correlation versus other plans? I'm not sure what he means by that.
Okay. I see. There's just a typo, to be honest. Like when you look at the pro plan, there's SERP analyzer queries, and in business there's correlation tool, and it's basically the same.
Oh, okay. So it should just say SERP analyzer.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Instead of serpent, somebody answered that for us. Asim says, question 2, which competitors should I exclude from top 10 results to make the best out of the tool? I mean, that's probably on a case-by-case basis, but I would imagine you want to throw out stuff like Yelp and Thumbtack and stuff like that. Do you have any more input on that?
So you should always exclude 3 types of pages, and that are just high authority pages like Wikipedia or Amazon that always rank not because of their content, but because of their authority. Second type would be outliers, so pages that are like very, very short or very, very long, because they will always skew your analytics for sure. And if you do this, you'll be fine pretty much. So I said 3, I will just stay with those 2 so it's easier for you. Oh, okay, no, I will go with the third one too. So if you see that the search intent is much different, right? So for example, if you go with the keyword, I don't know, ergonomic chairs, you will see some product pages, e-commerce like, and the second type of pages you can see are just articles that says best 10 ergonomic chairs, right? So you should probably only analyze pages with the same user intent, that is research or transaction or getting information, whatever that is. Just include those pages that serve the same intent as your future or present article.
All right. Asim says, does the true density algorithm work similar to the IF/TFD algorithm?
Yeah, it's very similar, but true density is different because it takes into consideration the length, the word count of your content. So for example, if your content is twice as long as your competitors, it will suggest you not 5, but 10 times to use a phrase like, I don't know, best SEO, whatever your keyword is.
All right. And let's see, Paul says, I missed the webinar. Is there any other place to get info about SEO Surfer?
Yeah,
sure. You can just go to superstarseo.com/getsurfer. That'll take you to the checkout page, but there'll be all links to all the other pages as well. Your help articles and all the different stuff on the site from there. Thanks for the webinar. I already use another tool. So how would Surfer be better than that other 3-letter tool? If you can answer, if not, it's okay.
So I think that the biggest advantage of Surfer is that it's super user friendly, it's so easy to use, and it's so easy to navigate. But we also have this unique true density algorithm, just like I mentioned before, and we saw people get really nice results from it. And this is the most important stuff. The content editor is kind of unique. I know that this 3-letter company has released something similar, but Surfer is verified tool when it comes to creating new content. And I highly recommend you to just, test it against other tools and see what works best for you, what kind of suggestions you get from one and the second tool too.
Yeah, and just to add to that, I'm very particular about the things that I will show to people. I don't promote very many things often, and I have a tool of my own that's very basic but very similar to this, and I'm promoting this. So that should tell you, if my opinion means anything to you, that should tell you which one I think you should use. Adrian says that this was an amazing demo. Everyone should use the stuff from Surfer SEO if you are into on-page SEO. Thanks, Chris and Carolina. Well, thank you, Adrian.
Thank you.
Doran says, thank you, super appreciate it. What an amazing tool. Awesome.
Oh, awesome, thank you.
Chris says, it's super cool product. I'd like to get it. Hopefully I'll win the pro account today, and he winks. So we'll be doing that giveaway. I'm almost to the end of the questions. We'll be doing that in a moment. Let's see. To extension. This is from Adrian. He says, if you're in the top 10 on the 4th place, do you choose only the first 3, the 3 first competitors, or also the ones from below you? It's an interesting question.
Oh yeah, that's very, very good question. So you can, of course, include the pages below you, but just, to make sure that your content gap is filled with the right phrases and words. But try to compare yourself, if you can, try to compare yourself to the performing pages that are above you. But in terms of true density, you can also include other pages that are below your page.
Great. Alex says, thanks. I have to leave now because it's 2 a.m. where I am. Well, thanks for being on. It's very difficult to plan an international event like this at a time that suits as many people as possible. This is an interesting question. Jason says, is there a way to optimize for 2 keywords? Not every page will target just one keyword. What's the best way to target similar keywords with same search volume?
So yeah, that's a pretty cool question. So when you use, for example, content editor, you can add your own phrases, from the secondary keywords. There is this other section that you can just add phrases, and that way you can optimize one page with multiple secondary keywords too in content editor. But if you if you want to optimize your page without it, you will have to run 2 separate analyzes, and just make sure that you use phrases from true density for both of those keywords. So yeah, this is something that we're also talking a lot, to be honest, because we would like people to get the ability to optimize for a few keywords at once.
Yeah, I was actually wondering that myself. I'm glad he brought that up. Asim says, does the Surfer tool consider the entire source code of the page, including the file names, keywords, and the alt tags of images, etc.? I think the answer to that is yes, right?
Oh yeah, so it depends. Well, it depends. If you analyze word count in the whole body, of course, it will take into consideration those stuff that you mentioned. But if you analyze word count in paragraphs, you will also get data like this. If you analyze word count in alternative texts, in images, you will also get information about this. So it depends what you're looking for. You will probably find answer in Surfer.
All right. How do you qualify winnings for today? Actually, we only got 2 more questions, so we'll do the giveaway after that. So Chris, when you say you increase rankings from that you were using content editor, I'm thinking of buying to use on my older content to update my site. Yeah, I use the combination of the audit feature and the content editor. Basically, though, I think I know the site you're talking about, Lauren, and yeah, I think that would be what you would do. You would just paste the body content into the content editor and just do what it told you, while still, applying some good sense. I need to step away a bit. Will I still be able to win the pro account? No, you'll need to pick a number here in just a second. I use as another tool for keyword research. Compared to that, how good is it? It's kind of apples and oranges, I think.
Oh yeah, so If you're used to some, keyword research tools, like, I don't know, keyword planner or whatever you use, that's fine. But what Surfer does, that's pretty like unique in terms of keyword research. It checks, it gives you more suggestions about secondary keywords if you're looking for them. So, for example, it shows you similarity between SERPs for 2 different keywords. If you look, for example, for SEO agency and SEO services in England, you may discover that those SERPs are overlapping in like 9 out of 10 times, and Surfer will give you that information. So you will see that, for example, there's similarity between them on 90%, which means you can probably target them with the same page. If the similarity is lower or just not enough for you, in your opinion, you can create 2 separate pages to just target 2 separate keywords.
All right. Let's see. And now let's go ahead and do a giveaway. I'm going to do a number again. So let's pick a number between 1 and 75, and we'll go for 1 minute, and whoever gets the closest without going over will win the second free account.
Oh, exciting.
All right, lots of numbers rolling in. It's going to be hard to scroll back up. We've got about 30 seconds remaining. Naveed wants to know if we can do a keyword research demo. Yeah, I suppose we can do that. I haven't used that tool, so I don't know how it works, but. All right, and we got about 10 seconds left. All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, stop submitting numbers. The number was 38, so let me see if we got anyone that got it exactly. And next time I do one of these, I'll have a much fancier way of picking it. I see a 37, so let's see if anybody got 38. If not, all right, so Nick Lavera is the winner. So Nick, if you'll drop your email in the chat, I know we'll get that over to you. Shoot. Rod says he already bought it, and it's, I know that you're having trouble seeing the questions, Jessica, but it's Nick Luvera, NICKLUVERA @gmail.com. Thanks to both of the winners for having easy email addresses. We appreciate that. And I'll send those over to you after we get done, and that way you can hook them up. So somebody wanted to see the keyword research tool. So I will bring that up, and you may have to walk me through this because I have not used this tool.
Sure, let's do this.
All right. All right, so we're gonna go up to keyword research.
Okay, and maybe could we try like United Kingdom, for example, location? That's where our database is like spot on for sure. And we can go with SEO services, for example, which is like, random keyword.
All right. Click analyze.
Yep, let's go with analyze and see what kind of results we will get. Okay, so in this tool, as you can see, we have data like search volume, for example, for your location, but also some global volume. And the thing that is really, really interesting, as I mentioned to you before, is the SERP similarity. So as you see, there's 60% similarity between website SEO services and SEO services. So there is a chance you can target this keyword with the same page, right? So this is like the biggest advantage of this, but there's also a nice feature that is a clipboard. If you close to the keyword on the left, there is this icon of plus, so you can add a few keywords at once, and you can conduct a bulk analysis. If you add 3, 4, or 5 keywords, for example, you can do the research once again, and you will see the SERP similarities between them. So it gives you a better sense of what kind of phrases you can target with one page. So this is like main stuff that you can do here. We highly recommend it for anyone if they want to just, as I said, target the same page with a few keywords with the same page, or they do some, I don't know, website mapping, and they plan some, whole web of different keywords for blog posts, for landing pages. This is a nice place to be. We also have this like having same terms that you may use. So if we start from the beginning and if we place a keyword let's go with SEO just simply. If you could, Chris, just type it and analyze from the beginning. Oh yeah.
So I just.
Yeah, just we can go from here or here. Yeah, that's right. SEO. There are probably better keywords to do that. And if we click on the left, having the same terms, it's you don't have to clear this one. You just have to go up, and under similar keywords, you will have having same terms. It's on the sidebar on the left.
Over here?
Yeah, up.
Oh.
Under similar keywords, you have having same terms, right? So you can check other phrases that will have SEO in them. So you can find some nice suggestions if you are just, trying to mine some new ideas for your domain. So that's basically like two most important stuff that we have here. You also got questions, so you can have you can mine some ideas for question-based keywords. We can go there too. If you could just click on the questions, just where the having same terms were, you will see phrases like this that are very, very nice to have. You can just use it for your headings, for your secondary keywords too. And this is basically how it works in terms of Surfer. We have our database that will be refreshed very, very soon. It's based on Google AdWords. So this is the kind of suggestions we give you here. So yeah, it's still like very nice when you look for new suggestions. So I recommend to test it and compare it with other tools. I think you can do some really nice stuff here, export it to your Excel file, and just see how it works with your domain.
All right, that's cool. Like I said, I hadn't even used that one myself. So
yeah,
we'll go ahead and bring up the page. That's superstarseo.com/getsurfer, and it'll take you right to this page where you can purchase the highest plan, because I make more money on that. And and go from there.
That's true.
Those are the three options. Let's see. ASIM says, I'm currently using one of the most popular tools in the market with great results, but I'll sign up for this tool after the webinar because no other tool offers the NLP feature. I'm also sold because of the great presentation, and I blindly trust Chris's recommendations. Thanks so much for your time. That's very kind of you to say, ASIM. I'm glad you're on board, and I appreciate the compliment. Lauren asks, so is the database not good for the US, or did I just hear you wrong?
So the keyword research, if you use Keyword Surfer, which is basically the same database that we use in keyword research, and the US base is there and it works very, very well. In Keyword Surfer, in keyword research, it's not yet there because it's a lot of work for us, and it will be there, but it's not available right now. So if you use for some English phrases, I would go with the UK base.
All right. Let's see. What percentage is recommended to stop at? I'm not sure what you mean by that.
Okay.
Yeah, Jason, if you just want to clarify what you're talking about there, because there's like a disconnect between the time the question comes in and when we get to it. So it could have been a lot of things. Roberto says, thank you very much for the demo. Thank you, Roberto. Navid says, pretty simple. Thanks for the demo. Thank you, Navid. How can I get a demo from Surfer if I buy?
Okay, so if you decide to go with our tool, you will probably get some nice onboarding messages to your email, or you will have access to a live chat on our website. So you will be able to contact our great support team. They are super helpful guys, and they will schedule something for you so you can go through Surfer features with your website and with your keywords.
Of course, it would do that. All right. Those were the percentages in keyword research. So I guess he's asking what percentage on the keyword research you should stop at.
Stop. I don't know what you mean exactly. If you want to like target the same page with a few keywords that you get there, the suggestions you get there, you can just be sure that if you get 190%, 80%, it's a good keyword, but it's still up to you, right? It's your decision and as an SEO to make the final decision if you want to target the same phrase with the same page, or maybe create two separate ones. So kind of up to you.
All right. And I think that's actually the end of the questions that we have right now. Yeah, that was a ton. That was a great session. I learned a lot about it that I didn't even know. That was my first time using the keyword research tool, and there were a couple other little things you pointed out that I
Oh,
didn't
that's
know
good.
about. So yeah, I'm excited to get back into it myself and see what more I can do. We'll hang out for another minute or two, but first of all, I want to thank you for taking the time to come on and help me with that, because I did not know a lot of that stuff and I wouldn't have been able to present it as well. And I know it's pretty late where you are, so thank you for
Yeah, thank you.
rearranging your schedule.
Yes, it was a great pleasure. I literally didn't mention so many stuff uh, you can do in Surfer. So if you want to test it yourself, I highly recommend it to you. And I hope we will do some other videos on Surfer domain or with Chris, so you'll learn more about new features that we have in plan.
Awesome. Yeah. Naveed says, one last question. Do you offer API services? I'm working a custom solution for my team.
Oh, no, sorry. The short answer is no.
All right. All right, that's kind of the end of the questions, and people are starting to dip out now. Like I say, if you want to get this discount, we got about 24, 28 hours, something like that. It was on the page there. I'm not exactly sure, but basically through tomorrow. And that as you can get to that at superstarseo.com/getsurfer. You get 10% discount and a 10% increase in the amount of queries that you get. And it's a great deal at its regular price. And I'm glad that I was able to work something out with them to get you a little bit more off of that and get some more benefit out of it. Like I say, I don't recommend things very often. I've only done 3 promotions in the last year, I think, because it's not, I only recommend things that I use and I think are good. And I don't do it just to, get a quick payday, because that's not really what I'm about. I want to recommend things that I think will help people, because that's ultimately my mission in all of this is to help as many people change their lives as they possibly can. So do you have anything else you'd like to say before we wrap it up?
Just a huge thank you for inviting me. Thank you for the trust you have in Surfer. And yeah.
All right, guys, one more time, that URL is superstarseo.com/getsurfer. You have about a day to make the decision. I don't think you should wait. I think you should jump on it right away, start optimizing your pages, because by the time the discounts, if you do that right now, by the time the discount's done, you already have an advantage over the people that didn't. So again, this is Chris M. Walker. I'm glad that you took the time out of your day to join us. I hope you'll check this out. And if not, I hope you still enjoyed it and got something out of this webinar. And yeah, I think that's about it. Thanks for your time. And as usual, figure out what you want out of life and go out and get it, because you owe it to yourself and you owe it to the world. So thanks a lot, guys, and have a great night.
Thank you. Bye.